All these skills that I have not gotten. All these bills to pay that I have not rotten. Look at all the skill points that I could use. I don't got it. I don't got any skill points. Anyway, hey, howdy everyone. Lost City here. We're back in action for more class trial attraction. We're gonna find out everything about Nagito's killer and what the Dundee dude. So yeah, let's get started, shall we? Nagito? That's what it says right there. Okay.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial.
Every time.
During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island. Oh my, Monami? My cute little sister? You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you? You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? Because you're a rabbit? Chesto! One more time! Jeez, how about this one? This will be my final blow!
She's not giving in.
It's useless.
Please stop! I feel bad for Monomi.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monami. The class trial has started, after all. The victim this time is Nagito, who is attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake.
He's a real hero.
Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
It was probably Carmen San Diego. I know she's hiding somewhere.
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor, that traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
No, that might not be it.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait. Don't tell me you're the traitor.
Don't say something so stupid! There's no way in hell I'm the traitor!
Now that's more like it. Why don't you guys hurry and start arguing already?
The traitor and the killer who murdered Nagito is here, right? Are they the same person? Or what? Alright, so we're getting all these old things here. What the heck are we going to start out for? Torture wounds. Alright, so...
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up! I'm telling you, they were torturing him!
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito!
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place! If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first!
That was Fuyuhiko!
I found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone.
Survival knife. Why did the killer have to torture Nagito? No, were the wounds on Nagito's body really caused by torture in the first place? Alright, so let's look at the actual, torture wounds. Both Nagito's legs were tied with rope, and each rope was tied to nearby pillars, which prevented him from moving. His thighs were also covered with a lot of stab wounds. Nothing here says otherwise. Survival knife. Stabbed into Nagito's right hand. The knife is from the military base. It's safe to assume that the wounds on Nagito's legs and left arm were caused by this knife. So that's not gonna work for me.
The killer didn't tape Nagito.
Duct tape. However, the blood that splattered onto his face wasn't under the duct tape. The tape itself had a lot of crinkles in it, as if Nagito was desperately moving his mouth underneath it.
His mouth to shut him up.
And the Monokuma plushie. A life-size Monokuma plushie that was found on the floor, near the fire's origin point. It has a huge bloody hole in its stomach as if it was stabbed. I don't think that's it either. The Monokuma panels. Tipped over, straight line. No, that's not going to give us anything for this.
I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
So what about the oil lighter? What does it say about the oil lighter? Found in the fire's origin point, it looks like it caused a fire.
The reason Nagito...
Monokuma's account. Monokuma knew all along that the bombs were fake. However, he apparently never revealed that fact to anyone. Okay.
Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place. If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first.
Whoever found the bomb first.
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence.
Can I
There's
rip him
no
right
way
now?
I'd torture someone.
Hi, I don't know what it could be. Why would the killer have to torture
Nagito's
Nagito?
mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
It's probably not that was stabbed, and the knife is safe to assume that the wounds on Nagito's legs and left arm were caused by this knife.
Reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place. If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first.
That was Fuyuhiko.
Whoever found the bomb first.
I
Would
found
that
it by
work?
coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone.
I honestly don't know where to start off with this one.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So
I don't
that's
know.
why he was so beat up.
I honestly and truly do not know. I want to say it's the duct tape. I really do. But I don't know what it is. There's a lot of crinkles in it, as if Nagito was desperately moving his mouth underneath it. So there was no blood splatter at all. I think it's the duct tape.
What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place. If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first.
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence.
The what? God dang it. So that's not it. That
Killer didn't
right
tape
there is not
Nagito's.
it.
I'm telling you, they were
So do I just
torturing him.
disagree with it?
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
Oh,
No,
it
that's
was
wrong.
that. It was the duct tape bit. All right, good. All right, so now I know it could go
But
from.
Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything. If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
I'm prepared.
No, he is prepared. What is he gonna argue about this time?
I just realized it. It's a trap.
Trap?
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap.
Dang it, Hajime. Stupid? Yeah, I guess that really hurt his feelings. Torture wounds, I
Like
guess?
you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you'd obviously assume he couldn't. But that was the trap. They wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
Alright,
But
cool,
if you
so I
tape
do
his
have to
mouth
advance.
shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention, this is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's
Information about the bomb's location. The survival knife is a bit.
Then, after they killed, they duct taped his mouth shut.
What, retreat?
Damn it!
Okay, no,
Like
but
you
I
said,
know it's
Nagito's
that.
mouth, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. They wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
I can't back down!
Ah, dang it. Like, we just, like, got in the middle there. Now, get out of here! Get out of here! Jeez. Alright, so
What if
it
he
should
kept
be
his
the
mouth
knife.
shut?
Because that's where the bombs were located.
How is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention, this is how it... First, the killer tortured Nagito and got him. Then, after they
Dang it.
killed him...
Ah!
Damn it!
Really?
Like you said, you obviously assumed, but that was the trap. They wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
I can't back down!
Really? Again with the dual swords? Oh my god. Please stop. Not again.
But if
Okay,
you
maybe
tape...
it's not the knife, because if it is the knife, I mean, they kind of would already know.
his mouth
stuff.
shut. How is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention, this is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location.
Alright, that's not it. Dang it.
Pay attention, this is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they killed him...
And then after they killed him.
Like you said, if Nagito... You'd obviously assume he couldn't talk, but that was the trap. They wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
I can't back down!
Really? Again with the dual swords? Buddy. Alright, so the unfortunate thing here is that I only get so much
if you
time to
tape his
actually
mouth
look at
shut?
things. Like every bloody time.
How is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention, this is
I could probably just
how
still
it
set the
went.
duct tape.
First, the killer tortured and got information about... Then, after they killed him...
Allow
There
me
we
to
go.
cut through those
Okay, it was
words.
still duct tape. It was just because like it had to be like after you have to get at that.
No. There's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
What did you say?
Who cares about the duct tape? We might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors.
We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
Why do you always side with Hajime? Do you have a crush on him or something?
Are you in elementary school or something?
You were with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds. Which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth. He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
Perhaps the duct tape was used so he wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer?
If so, it's friggin' crazy. Did they go psycho or something?
No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard. If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
We can't think of any other reason.
But who could have done that? When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse.
Yeah. And right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back.
Which means, it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect.
Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this.
Some kind of setup? Like what?
I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
That's our Miss Sonia. You have such an amazingly high intellect. Alrighty then, let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay, Miss Sonia?
Damn right it is!
The reason for the fire, huh? They're right, we need to clear that up first. Alright, reason for the fire. I don't know, burning the rope? Yeah, burn the rope. I think it's for that.
The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter.
Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
What? Oh, with sound waves. Dang it! Why'd you say sound waves, you stupid?
The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter.
Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Or perhaps opening the door caused.
There we
I
go.
agree with that.
So it was the Monokuma panels themselves. Yeah.
I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown here from glorious Japan!
Beg pardon?
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels. A huge number of tipped-over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line. Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
Does that mean anything?
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
A domino effect. You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over?
In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels. So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second. And from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
The killer did one other thing to hide the domino effect? What was the other thing? Duct tape, blood on grinder. Oh, the MP3 player.
I see! You're talking about the MP3 player, right? That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels.
The inside of the warehouse felt even darker because our eyes within that darkness allowed him blared throughout the warehouse at full volume. Hey, do you guys hear something? Yeah, it's really damn loud. Does Nagito like listening to this depressing crap? No, I'm not talking about the music. And as if on cue, it suddenly started.
That's it. So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling.
I like how she's like has like dog ears and she's pretty much just like a werewolf girl. Just it's the best. Oh my god. I don't know. Just give me a girl with dog-esque features. I love them.
But those sounds weren't the only strange thing, right? Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse.
It's fine. I'll open it slowly. No, that's not the problem. Seriously, it'll be fine. With those words, Akane brushed off everyone's warning and slowly opened the door to the warehouse. Huh? It's not opening. Is there something blocking the door? I could probably open it. I knew it. It's a trap. Seriously, just stop it all, okay? Didn't I tell you it'll be fine? I just gotta use a little more force. What happened to open it slowly? Akane ignored their protest, and with a mighty kick, the door flew open.
Ah, so the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel.
And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter.
Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire.
You don't look so sure.
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door.
Because the panel was blocking it, right?
But the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
Is that a problem?
It's a major problem. I mean, that door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
The door was the only entrance to the warehouse. I see, so the problem Akane Chiaki's talking about is the killer could have left. Yeah.
If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened,
Oh, dang it. Did not want to press
the
that.
killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Now that you mention it.
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
Who? We were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Based on the patterns up until now, I believe some kind of setup was used.
You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this.
Huh?
You don't mean...
But if that's true, this murder...
Hajime? What do you mean?
The person who set up the domino effect inside the warehouse. There's only one person who could have done that. Yep, there's only one person. And it was... a suicide.
This is my answer!
At least the conclusion.
What if it was Nagito?
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know.
He wasn't just the victim. Maybe.
Huh?
Not just the victim? What does that mean?
He was the victim. And he was the perpetrator, too. Maybe.
Are you saying this was a suicide? Don't be stupid. His body was covered in torture wounds. Or did you already forget? Are you saying those were all self-inflicted?
But Nagito might do something like that, don't you think?
That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember? Even for a creep like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, as long as you understand.
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up.
Need to discuss? That's not necessary at all. No matter how much you think about it, it's clearly impossible.
Like he said, it seems impossible if you think about it, but I feel like I'm overlooking something. I like how we just got to this conclusion like almost instantly. That's pretty cool. Alright. So I'm with everybody else. I do think it's a suicide. No doubt. It doesn't seem like
tie
anyone
up
can do
your
it.
own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Beg pardon?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
It is a dirty joke. My goodness. If our assumption that Nagito committed suicide is correct, Nagito should have tied himself up too. It's okay, right?
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
What could it
Dirty
be?
joke! Is that a dirty joke?
Oh, jeez. Because they're saying it like this and just kind of like, ugh. Okay, so
To
the burn
actually
rope
tie
is
up your
probably
own
it.
arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
To actually tie up your own arms and legs.
There we go.
No,
got it.
that's wrong.
Yes, I got it. Yes. Woo. Because the burn rope was just a trick.
Hold on a sec. Isn't that premise flawed?
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were...
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms. The rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on that, you can't say he was tied up.
That was just burned by the fire. He should have been tied up before then.
It burned because of the fire. Like you said, it might look like that. But that was part of the trap. There's concrete evidence that proves it.
The proof that the burnt rope on Nagito's right arm is a trap. His right sleeve, the duct tape, the lighter.
Crap!
Oh, so it's not the lighter. Okay. The knife in his right hand.
Crap!
Dang it. His right
I
sleeve?
see.
Really? I don't even, like, who paid attention
Take
to
a
that?
close look at his right sleeve.
I didn't pay attention to the right sleeve. I'm not able to really look at the right sleeve.
Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve wasn't burned at all. When a burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right? He was able to move it freely, right?
Yeah, that should be the case.
Hajime, that's awesome! I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
Beg pardon? What is your deal?
Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first.
I'm glad Sonya's at least open-minded, but that's so weird.
That's definitely wrong.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
That's not what I meant. I'm talking about Nagito. I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it, you know?
It's impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand.
Ah, that much is obvious.
Oh, that's a problem too then.
Hajime, you tricked me. Give me back that Benjamin.
What? Not only did she try to charge me, now she wants the money back? What the heck?
Hold on. There should be a way.
Then hurry up and spill it.
If it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest.
Beg pardon? A way to stab yourself in your right hand using only your right hand? It's okay, there's definitely an answer for this. That is confusing, god dang.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
I think he could.
Is he a throwing knife
It
expert?
just wouldn't go very, like, into
Maybe
it.
he propped the knife somehow? And slammed his right hand down on it?
Propped it onto what?
If he just propped the knife, he could have used his bound left hand.
If you're tied up, your arms won't bend that easily. We don't know if his left hand could even reach his right hand.
What the heck? And Nagito could only use his right hand to stab himself in the palm. Then how did he do it?
Even...
So let's look at the survival knife real quick. Survival knife that was stabbed. The knife is from the military. It's safe to assume that the wounds on Nagito's legs and left arm were caused by the knife. So... leg and left arm were okay. And then it's like dug in there too. Wait, blood on the left hand. Yeah, it looks like he was holding... Well, no, he could have been holding something else, too. Blood on grinder. I don't think that would be it either. What could it properly be? Burnt rope, survival knife. I mean, it could be that, but it also couldn't be. Maybe that's what it is.
right hand was free. How could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall.
So it's not that.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with...
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
Okay, so it's not that either.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
Is he a throwing knife expert?
What does the blood on grinder say? What does that say? See blood on left hand. Is it blood on left hand? Is that what it no, right here. A faint red line was on the ceiling grinder inside the goods warehouse.
Expert? Maybe he propped the knife somehow? And slammed his right hand down on it?
Propped it onto what?
If he just propped the knife, he could have used his bound left hand.
If you're tied up, your arms won't bend that easily. We don't know if his left hand could even reach his right hand.
I don't know what it is. Right, maybe we should
even
just
if
get the left
Nagito's
hand
right
bit.
hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Maybe he propped the knife somehow? And slammed his right hand down on it?
Propped it onto what?
If he just propped the knife, he could have used his bound left hand.
If you're tied up, your arms won't bend that easily. We don't know if his left hand could even reach his right hand.
Wait, that's it. You,
Even
you
if
prop it up
Nagito's
with
right
your
hand was
left
free.
hand, and you stab your
How could he
your
stab
hand
his right
with it.
hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall,
So
could he
it's the
stab his
props.
hand that way?
But we had to get like a
Is
thing
he
for
a
it.
throwing knife expert?
Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
What? No, that's not it.
It's wrong?
What the heck? Because like,
Even if
if you think about it in that kind of situation, you at least be able to stab it, and that's how you be able to stab your right hand. You hold your hand with your left, and then you just go in like that, and then you just put your hand back in a comfortable position like that. But I guess not. Ah, dang. The burned rope. No, because where do you have that? God dang it, it stabbed right into his hand. I
Nagito's
don't know
right
what,
hand was free.
what this rightly is.
how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
Like, honestly,
If
I'm
he threw
with
the
you,
knife into the
Kuhiko.
air
I don't know either.
and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Maybe he propped the knife somehow? And slammed his right hand down on it?
Propped it onto what?
If he just propped the knife, he could have used his bound left hand.
I guess it's not bound
If
left
you're
hand.
tied up, your arms won't bend that easily. We don't know if his left hand could even reach his right hand.
Wait, if you're bound up? No, that's because the
Even
burn
if
rope.
Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with
So
his
it's the
right
burn,
hand?
It's the burn rope? Again? Oh, dang it. Now stop.
If he threw the knife and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Maybe he propped the knife somehow and slammed his right hand down on it?
Propped it onto... If he just propped the knife, he could have used his bound left hand.
If you're tied up, your arms won't bend that easily.
What the hell? Okay, so it's not that. That took forever.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free,
The survival
how
knife.
could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
Monokuma plushie. Oh, there's the plushie right there. So the plushie could do it too, right? A life-size Monokuma plushie that was found on the floor. It has a huge bloody hole in its stomach, as if it was stabbed. That's it. That is the Monokuma
If he
plushie.
threw the knife into the air
That's
and
what
let
it
the
is.
knife fall,
It's
could he
the
stab
prop.
his hand that way?
Is he a throwing knife
For some
expert?
reason, when I was looking at it, I was thinking it was the
Maybe
panel.
he propped the knife somehow?
There we go.
I agree with that.
So it was propping, it was just wrong prop. That was what I was doing. Okay, good.
The life-sized Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach. He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it. If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
I see. So that's the trick.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
A bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
Beg pardon? Just having a doll actually grow hair in general is scary.
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now, Fuyuhiko?
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem. The spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear, right? If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito. If that's true, how is that possible? He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it and his left hand was all tied up.
Then he probably took the spear first, and as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand.
There is a limit to his constitution. If you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Could you rephrase that, Sonia?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch all that.
Like I said, if you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Oh my god.
Say it one more time. I need to record it. For reasons.
Hey, bastard, you better cut it out!
Like she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear.
I like Fuyuhiko. He's such like a gentleman in such a weird way. I love it. He reminds me of Kiryu, in all honesty. And Kiryu's the best. He is easily the best husbando.
It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stab into your right hand, while your left hand is tied up.
So you're saying it's impossible?
But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else.
I also agree with that. To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty, I could never believe that.
I mean, Nagito was technically one of you, so...
You say you can't believe it? You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and over again, right? Same goes for this time, too.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone. If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
Monome's sassing me.
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far. So this might also be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted, and it's too convenient.
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
Of course that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone. No matter how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
You gotta find hope, is what you're trying to say here?
I also want to believe that there's no killer, but suicide is unimaginable.
Do you really think so?
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible.
Huh?
I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
I feel like this is the most obvious part of the whole entire thing. Because, like, as soon as I saw that, it's like, yeah, he could prop that up and do it to himself. But then there's all the other things that are just like, I have no idea how you do it.
What kind of way?
I don't know.
You don't know.
It's impossible to figure out by myself. So let's think about it together.
How is it that you don't know? I mean, I kind of figured it out. It has a little tail end. You put it, like, right over the little thing, and then you just kind of just let go of it.
That's how. We made it this far up till now.
Everyone working together.
She's right. We made it through several ordeals up till now by doing that. And even now...
All right, let's do this.
Torture wounds... I don't think it's any of those.
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together and think this through.
When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand.
No, it doesn't.
If that's the case, the only other way is...
He used his teeth? Or maybe he used his front tail.
Stop with the front tail
All
business!
guys have tails that get hard when they're grabbed.
Beg pardon?
What are you saying?
A blushing Miss Sonia is freaking awesome!
If Nagito committed suicide, then he must have used the spear to stab himself. Even if his arms and legs were tied up, there's no doubt he used some part of his body. The only thing he could have used is his
How
left
did
hand.
Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's
There
work
it is,
together
blood on
and
left
think this
hand, like I was
through.
hoping.
When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move his left...
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand.
No, it doesn't.
No, that's wrong!
It doesn't rule it out.
Hold on. It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
Why? I mean, his left hand was tied up, you know?
But there was something off about his left hand. The bloodstain on the palm of his hand. Don't you think it looked somewhat strange? He only had blood on the lower area of his palm. Beyond that point, the bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
When the blood splattered, that's as far as it reached, right?
That settles the description of that bloodstain, but it's not the only unnatural bloodstain. Look, there's blood on the back of his hand.
Like you said, it looks like an unnatural bloodstain, but what's wrong with that?
We might need to think and use our imaginations for a bit. If there's blood on his palm and the back of his hand, what was his left hand doing as the blood splattered?
What was Nagito's left hand doing when the blood was splattered? He was gripping
I
it.
see! When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand. That's why there's such a strange-looking bloodstain on his palm and the back of his hand.
Was he grabbing his front tail?
Stop with the front tail business!
Perish the thought! He was obviously grabbing the spear!
Now that you mention it, compared to the rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty mild. He probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
But even if he held the spear with his tied-up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab himself.
That's right, that's the problem.
Hey, Chiaki, what do you think? Hey, don't tell me you're getting sleepy.
At times like this, you should always strike from a good angle. Just like fixing an old TV.
Beg pardon?
Oh, I got it. Maybe.
Huh? Really?
Yeah, like I thought. It's no mistake that Nagito was gripping the spear. I think. However, what's important is what section of the spear he was gripping.
Section of the spear was he gripping the cord.
I see! That's it. Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding on to the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too. Plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something.
Isn't the size of that cut-off section about the same size as a human fist?
Ah, you're right. So this is the part Nagito was gripping, huh? And then the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around, and stabbed himself, right?
That is where the clue to solve this mystery resides. Right, Chiaki? I am sorry. Of course this mystery will not be solved that easily.
Nagito is gripping the cord extending from the butt of the spear with his left hand. And from there, what would he stab himself in the stomach with the spear?
It seems we are stuck. Shall we have tea time?
At a time like this, how about we stick to the plan to think one step at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once?
That's a long plan name.
I mean, I already know what it is. It's so frustrating because it's not hard. It's really not hard for this little bit. This feels like padding over things. And just like... Ace Attorney does this too, though. Like, I'll just jump the gun with the logical conclusions. Because when you play enough Ace Attorney, you're just like, oh, okay, so I know how it's done. And then just like, present the evidence. It's like, no, that's not the correct evidence. And then you go back a little bit later, and it's like, yes, that is correct evidence. It's just like, It's the blood on the grinder, though. That's what indicates it, that it was on the beams.
One step at a time? What does that mean?
Let's focus on the spear first. Namely, where it was and how it was positioned just before it impaled Nagito.
How it was positioned.
Nagito was facing up, and the spear was stabbed through his stomach. So if it was just before that... What's it? Could it be? The stick of the spear and the fact that Nagito was holding the tip of the cord attached. If I put those together and think about it, I should be able to figure that out. Where the spear was and what state it was in before it stabbed Nagito. Are we going to do a logic dive? Alright. I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing here. This kind of sucks that I have very low life in comparison. Just like, ugh. I wish I could be better. Why did you show up randomly? God dang it. Question 1. Where was the spear just before it impaled Nagito? Above. It was above. I feel this is pretty obvious. But whatever. Well, there's moving stuff now. God dang it. Ooh, that was close. Question 2. Besides the spear, what else was above Nagito? A ceiling grinder. That's what it was. Sprinklers were also above him too. I think. No, they weren't. They weren't activated, so they didn't get soaked. Gotta be extra careful about this mess because it's all scary. I'm losing a lot of health. Just to keep bumping into things. Admittedly enough, it's because I'm going so fast, like all the time right now. And I do like this logic dive though. I will say that much. I like it a lot. What item connects both the spear and the ceiling grinder? The spear's cord. Which is what I thought it was. I mean, honestly. Boop. Boop. Oh God! Yay!
It's all coming together! The spear impaled Nagito as he was laying face up. It must have been perpendicular to him just before that.
Oh, now I gotta be fancy with your words?
Perpendicular. In the middle of the air?
If Nagito did that all by himself, did he have some sort of ESP?
That'd be awesome, but he probably used the ceiling girder directly above him.
Nagito probably slung the cord over the ceiling girder, and using that as a support. He hoisted the spear directly above him. And if Nagito let go of the cord, the spear would have fallen and impaled him while he was laying face up.
I noticed a slight red streak on the ceiling girder. It probably got smeared there during the setup.
The blood on the cord probably rubbed off on the ceiling girder as the spear was falling. So, how about it? Using this method, Nagito could have impaled himself with the spear.
Are you serious? He really committed suicide? Like that?
He probably chose that spear so he could commit suicide like that. If someone else did this, there's no reason they'd go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear.
I agree. When I was investigating this case, I kept thinking over and over how strange it was. Why did the killer use the knife and the spear so differently?
So you're saying he needed to use that spear to pull off his trick?
Then, this is for real? He really committed suicide? Every single wound on his body. That was all him?
Not just that, he did all that while he was gripping the spear? That spear should not have stabbed Nagito until the very end. Which means Nagito wounded himself while he was gripping that spear, right?
Did he put the duct tape on his mouth too?
He probably covered his own mouth so we wouldn't hear him screaming in pain.
Did he need to go that far? That's beyond crazy. Why would he do that to himself?
He was probably trying to get us to make a mistake. By committing a suicide that looked like a murder, he was trying to steer us toward the wrong answer. His goal was to get us all executed.
And that's why he stabbed himself over and over again?
Did he want us to die that bad?
That's messed up. That's seriously so messed up.
Yeah, that's our Nagito.
It's the way it's like a family member, like, you know, well, what else can I say? It's part of the fam. Jeez. I was starting to feel a little sympathetic toward him. How stupid of me. I completely underestimated this capacity for malice. A mind-boggling malice that threatens us even after he's dead. That's the form his malice took. I've forgotten all about it until now. If he was here now, he'd probably be sneering at me.
However, there is one thing I still do not understand. He said he would reveal the traitor, right? Whatever became of that?
He was probably planning to kill the traitor along with the rest of us.
So why did he not just do that in the first place? If he had no qualms with killing everyone, he did not have to cause a bomb scare to reveal the traitor.
I bet the bomb scare was part of the strategy behind this trick. He made us split up and search for a bomb so none of us would have an alibi. He created a scenario where any of us could have killed him.
He tried to make us doubt each other and tried to hide the truth behind his suicide.
Did he cause a bomb scare for that reason alone?
He's a fucking bastard who killed himself for his delusions of grandeur. It's not that unthinkable.
You are right, I suppose.
Yeah, it appears we've come to a conclusion. Bastard Nagito committed suicide. It was all done by him so we'd be executed.
That should be okay, right? Right?
What? You're not satisfied yet?
No, I agree that Nagito killed himself, but I feel like there's something that doesn't make sense. It's probably just my imagination.
Why? I mean, I sort of understand what she's talking about. I don't think it's a mistake to assume that Nagito committed suicide, but I feel so uneasy about it. Is it because we don't know who the traitor is, or...
So what are you gonna do? Is it okay to proceed with the voting time?
What do you think, Akane?
Well, there's no doubt Nagito's death was a suicide. Oh well, I guess my gut is wrong sometimes.
You are right. It is not as though we can draw any other conclusion.
Then it's okay to end it here, huh? That means we're done with this last class trial and we can leave this island, right? It's okay to reach such a happy ending, right?
Then it's okay? It's okay to say, you've decided on the killer? Understood. Then voting time.
No, hold on a sec.
Hold on. Why?
Sorry, just a little more. I want you guys to wait just a little more.
That doesn't sound right, not Hajime. Doesn't sound cool.
I can't help but feel like there's still something we overlooked.
Like who the traitor is?
But the issue here is who killed Nagito, right? Even if we identify the traitor, the conclusion won't change.
That's true, but...
The mystery isn't just about who the traitor is.
Huh?
No matter how you look at it, Nagito's death is a suicide. But I'm a little worried, you know? I'm worried about starting the voting time while there's still a mystery.
Hey, what do you mean it's not about who the traitor is? What kind of mystery is left?
There's just one thing that doesn't make sense, and it relates to Nagito's death. Plus, it's something even Nagito couldn't influence. He couldn't even tamper with the evidence for it.
Something related to Nagito's death. And it's something that even he couldn't have messed with?
You're gonna keep going? Here I thought we were finally finished.
It's something related to Nagito's death. A piece of evidence that even he couldn't mess with. Torture wounds. Duct tape. MP3. What could it be? I don't... Sonya's account? What would be out of his... I guess it would be Sonya's account?
Crap!
Okay, so it's not that. Is it the poison? Because he can mess with that. He can mess with the blue paper too. And that, something related to Nagito's death. A piece of evidence that even he couldn't mess with. It's related to Nagito's death. I honestly don't know what it is. Because I feel like he can mess with all these things right here. Torture wounds and such. It's found in the fire's origin, and it looks like it started the fire. The MP3 that's just kind of there. There's nothing that rightly would mistake it. Monokuma's special poison? I don't know.
Crap!
So it's not that either. I don't know what it is, game. You kind of made this too much of a mystery. This?
Crap!
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I really, really do not know. It makes no sense. That's so dumb.
We will
That's
never give
so
up.
dumb. Oh my god. Is that one little bit right there? So I guess we're just gonna be, like, finding as much as possible.
Crap!
It's not that.
I see!
It's the time of death?
Is it about the Monokuma file?
Yeah, that's it.
Huh? There was something suspicious in the Monokuma file?
The victim is Nagito Akumata. The body was discovered inside the warehouse near the Monokuma plushie factory. The estimated time of death is believed to be noon sharp. Not only is there a spear stabbed into his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there is a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand. The suspicious part of the Monokuma file that Chiaki is worried about is... What is it? What's it in the Monokuma file? It's the time of death. It's the time of death. Time of death? Sharp. That? No. Oh, frack, dude. What are you doing? See what? There's way too many things here. Oh my god! The hell? E? It's just... Oh... You? A? Okay. Fuck! Why? How is this fair? How at all is this fair? I can't do anything. Game. Game. D? God dang it. Oh my god, I'm gonna die because of this. Like, legit, I'm gonna die because of this. Stop! Oh my god! I honestly cannot. I cannot. Like, what is with this? What? What are you asking me to make? Cause? Okay. Of cause of death. Oh my god. Look how much I've taken. Look how much I have taken. Now I need it. Need an A. Bloody. Bloody. I'm almost dead. I am seriously almost dead. Okay. That was terrible!
In this particular case's Monokuma file, there's no specific cause of death.
Oh, it just says cause of death. Not only is there a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there's a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand.
Isn't that weird? Until now, the files always specified the cause of death.
But the cause of death is obvious, is it not? The spear in Nagito's stomach. It is obvious just by looking at it that it was a cause of death.
Maybe it's not included if it's not important enough to write about.
Well, Monokuma, I plead the fifth!
There he goes again! I'm so appalled that I have nothing to say.
But you just said something.
But even during Gundam's case, and before during Mikan's case, the thing he purposely omitted from the Monokuma file was always the most important mystery in the case.
Are you saying that applies this time too?
Hold on a sec. Then, are you saying there's more to Nagito's death? Are you suggesting, again, that his death wasn't a suicide?
You guys were the ones who said it was a suicide in the first place.
No, I don't think it's a mistake to call Nagito's death a suicide, but it's not just a suicide. Come to think of it, did Nagito really commit suicide just to get us all killed?
Are you sticking up for him?
That's not what I meant. I mean it in a bad sense.
Bad sense?
I just remembered that his malice always defied our expectations, and that concerns me. For example, would that malice just end here?
Huh?
Did Nagito's malice drive him to risk his life for a truth we'd reach this easily? I mean, this is Nagito we're talking about, you know?
How interesting! You sure do believe in Nagito, huh? Because you believe in his malice, you continue to suspect his malice. I see. I guess that's what passes for friendship these days.
What friendship?
What should we do, you guys? Should we proceed with the vote? I think we should keep going until everyone is satisfied, even if it's just to be safe.
You're right. We only get one chance to vote after all.
Just to be safe, huh? Guess I have no choice. If that's the case, I'll do my best to go along with it.
This is friggin' annoying. But if you guys say you're doing it, there's no way I'm gonna back out.
Hey, Monokuma! You heard us. The voting's gonna have to wait!
We've come this far. Let's work hard till the very end. If we work together, everything should be all right. That's what I believe.
Oh, splendid. You guys are so splendid right now. That's right. If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you.
If all our hopes are united, no despair can shake you. Huh. Now that I think about it, Nagito said the same thing. That absolute hope that can overcome any despair. He said he was yearning for that. Then the situation we're in might be the thing that Nagito wanted all along. No, never mind. I'm probably overthinking. And I guess we're at the suspension mark.
No.
Man, my heart was racing like crazy when I thought the voting time was gonna start, but... Well, if you think about it rationally, there's no way it's gonna happen. You haven't done this, bit yet. Most of the players probably figured that out too. You're the only one who didn't know. Isn't that right, Mon Ami? Hey, how much longer are you planning to sulk? Let's get along with like we always do. Alright, you passed. Friendship is measured by how long you can stand the silence while you're all alone with someone else. So, Mon Ami and I are the bestest of best friends. Don't say such stupid things. I hate you so much right now. Enough! Why do I have to be hated so much? Besides, the fact you snap at me like that, I don't trust you at all. Not even teensy tiny 1mm bit. How sad. Distrusting your friend is much more shameful than being betrayed by that friend, you know? We aren't even friends in the first place. Then as your older brother, let me say this. You're not even my brother. It's sad to live a life without friendship. It's even sadder that watching a high school rom-com full of guys. Well, there may be some more demands for that. I fell for it. I totally took the man bait. Oh my god. Alright, so we're going to take a quick break to do stuff And then we'll be back for more Nagito killed himself, but why? The motion picture. Till then, everybody. Sayonara. Bye-bye.